Not only is today about the on-track races, but we also have some fantastic demonstrations from the Formula One cars from the classic Team Lotus, which I cannot wait to see. We're here for the second race for the Lotus On-Track Elise Trophy. They've reversed the grid and the top 10 now, so will there be someone else on the podium later, or will Luigi make it 2 wins?
Well, the reverse grid always gives us a very lively race, and with so many cars as well ready to take the start, I'm sure that this is the second race of the weekend for the Lotus On-Track Elise Trophy. Will be as exciting, if not more exciting than the first. So it's Nigel Hannam who's going to be on pole position, with Danny Galupovic due to line up alongside him on the front row of the grid. Craig Denman is third and Steve Train in fourth. The race 1 winner, Luigi Mazza, starts back in 9th position, but there's no Danny Galupovic there, so the man who should have started second's not there on the grid. There he is in the pit lane. He'll start from the pits. So the outside of the grid are going to get a fairly clear run here up towards Riches as the red lights are on, the revs rise, and away we go prematurely in a couple of instances there. A little bit of creeping from Steve Train and Craig Denman, but look at that from Chris Dunster in the sky blue car. He's made a brilliant start. We ride with Ken Savage from 10th on the grid as we see the bobbing and weaving Chris Dunster up ahead. But this is a superstar from Ken, who gets a clout from someone. He keeps it pointing in the right direction. Well held there from Ken Savage, who was savaged by one of his rivals, but he's rejoined to the loss of about 4 positions. He's just in behind Phil Stratton Lake, breaking into Montreal for the first time. It's Steve Quick who's just ahead of him, as Stuart Rowland runs very wide at Montreal. That swooping line's not going to give him too much benefit this time around, as Luigi Mazza already making up a lot of ground. He's on the tail here. Dan Plant looking to challenge Plant as they accelerate towards Agostini. It's Craig Denman who's got the lead from in second place. Superstar for Chris Dunster, Nigel Hannam, who's there in third in the all-blue machine. And Hannam, in fact, beginning to close in on Dunster as Dan Plant challenges Steve Train. The reason the Plant is challenging Train is because he's got Ken Savage and Luigi Mazza right on his tail. Ken just having a quick glance as he turns into Hamilton. See, there's nobody up to the inside. There isn't. He actually gains here on Luigi Mazza, who's very concerned with finding his way past Steve Train. And Ken Savage likes to look at that gap. Steve Train wants to close it. He just chops Savage's nose as they go through Rockies, but I think Ken's going to make that move stick into William. Jesse does. Accelerates onto the Bentley straight. So the first opportunity to relax. Ken says thank you. He then adjusts the mirror. Very casual. A Sunday drive. Is he going to reach for a coffee? No, he's not. He's going to focus on slipstreaming Luigi Mazza as we go side by side at the head of the field, and it's Craig Denman who just about holds off the challenge from Chris Dunster. Dunster, the young racer who's been receiving instruction this year from the ex-British Touring Car Championship racer and race winner Phil Bennett, and his driving partner in the Lotus Cup UK. And obviously that advice is paying off very well, because Dunster is challenging here for the lead of the race, looking to inside of Craig Denman into Coram. That's brave. On board with Ken Savage through Coram. Luigi Mazza's line the rear of the car, so does Ken Savage. He gathers it all up and then breaks into Murray's, moves down 1 gear and then gets in the power nice and early. Although I think he may have given a little bit of ground there to Luigi Mazza, who's tucked into the slipstream behind Dan Plant. So that one complete. It's Denman from Dunster, then the gap back to Nigel Hannam, then it's Dan Plant, only for a few more metres because Luigi Mazza's got to run him. He looks to the outside as they accelerate up towards Riches. Now, has Mazza made that move? Yes, he has. So Mazza gains the place. Ken Savage, a slightly more sedate run through Riches this time as he looks to gain on Dan Plant, who has not given up on this fight with Luigi Mazza. And Mazza really has to squeeze Dan Plant into Montreal. That's super driving from Dan Plant to reclaim the position, because Mazza gave him an Elise width and no more. And Dan Plant was able to take advantage. Luigi Mazza, with all that stout defence, has brought Ken Savage back into this dice. Luigi Mazza goes to the move once more into Palmer. Ken Savage tries to follow him through. Dan Plant is not of the same opinion, so he closes the door. And he also moves to the inside of the circuit nice and early as they sprint down towards Agostini. This is left-hand hairpin, and Dan Plant going defensive area. You can see they make contact as Savage squeezes across. Not only does he kiss Dan Plant's front bumper, he also goes past Luigi Mazza momentarily. Now, has Savage made either of those moves stick? Yes, he has. He's gone past Dan Plant, but not Luigi Mazza. Back to the race lead, which is slightly less fraught in that they're not side by side, but Chris Dunster is really on the tail here of Craig Denman. Denman having one of his best runs of the season. And Nigel Hannam doing very nicely still in third, and his course being helped by the fact we've got such a ferocious fight for fourth position, although Dan Plant has just been shuffled into sixth as Dunster looks to challenge for the race lead here on Craig Denman. He takes the outside run into Brundle, but Denman's got the track position, so he's going to be able to keep Chris Dunster at bay as they come out of Nelson, accelerate on towards the bomb hole. Chris Dunster just settling into the slip trim here behind Craig Denman. Smacks the racecraft for a pair of them because they're not really fighting too hard, so they're not conceding too much ground. It means they are pulling out quite a big advantage over Nigel Hannam. Plenty of fighting go behind. That's Adam Busey, who is in the middle of that particular tussle and trying to pull away from Danny Golubic, recovering up from starting the pit lane. He's just gone past Steve Tranter in the white number 49 car, back in car with Ken Savage, and he's now on the tail of Chris Dunster. So Dunster has dropped back from Craig Devon. He's now got Ken Savage right on his tail, almost just coming into contact through Riches, but not quite. This is racing its very best, very close but very clean. And Dunster going defensive into Montreal. Savage looking to the inside, very late and deep on the brakes, and through he goes. Brilliant move. So Ken Savage goes up into second position, Chris Dunster down into third. Now is Savage going to be able to hold that? The way he's glancing at those mirrors and to the side of the car, I'm not entirely sure. There's nothing blue appearing to our left-hand side, so I think it's fairly safe to say that Savage has made that move stick and gone up into second position. He moves up through the gears, but he's still checking the mirrors, and the reason why is that Luigi Mazza has also gone past Chris Dunster, is now challenging Ken Savage, although Dunster fights back on Mazza and goes to the move and makes it, and Agostini up the inside, and he almost repeats Savage's move on him from Montreal a couple of corners later. So Chris Dunster back into third position. So it's Craig Devon who leads it, Ken Savage second. Chris Dunster was third because now it's Luigi Mazza who reclaims the final spot of the podium on the inside line into Woggy. So Mazza goes third, Dunster is in fourth position. It's Steve Quick who has come up into fifth place as they accelerate through Williams and out onto the Bentley Straight. With dust being kicked up. This is Ben Hyde a little bit further back having a super tussle with Steve Train. So while the multicolour car trying to draw away from the orange and blue machine of Train. Denman in the race is now being caught by Mazza, so Luigi Mazza has gone past Ken Savage and he's now here on the tail of Craig Denman, challenging for the lead in towards Coram Curve. It's not really an overtaking opportunity as Denman on the very limit of his heat. You can see him seesawing at the wheel, but it's all in vain. Around he goes. Now is he going to collect anybody who goes across the curve at Murray's? Well avoided Luigi Mazza. Either side of him go Ken Savage and Craig Denman. Craig Denman, Chris Dunster. It's Denman who recovers. And disaster for the race leader. We're coming towards the closing stages here, and Craig Denman will be so disappointed with that. We'll have a replay here of Foley's folly. That's number 32, Graham Foley, having a spin, should find a gear, get back into it, just loses place to his teammate Danny Golubovic. Wherever you look around the field, really, there's dicing going on as we have got Greg Noble here leading Neil Stottert in the number 57 machine. So Stottert chasing the Union Jack livery machine. Greg Noble up the centre straight, back to the leaders as they turn through Brundle and Nelson for the final time. It looks like we're going to have a double here at the Lotus Festival for Luigi Valentino Mazza. In second place is Ken Savage, third place is Chris Dunster. Unfortunately, our long-time race leader Craig Denman has slipped behind Steve Train now, so Mazza, his excellent 2011 continues. Ken Savage once more underlining his pace. For Chris Dunster, a very well-deserved podium, repeating his podium success at Walton Park earlier in the season. So out of Murray's for the final time, and Mazza accelerates up the centre straight. He is unchallenged in these closing stages, and he does the double at Snetterton. Delighted Luigi Mazza takes the win. Second place to Ken Savage, and third to Chris Dunster, with Steve Quick across the line in fourth, and it's Stuart Rowland who's going to take fifth. So Craig Denman continuing to shuffle down the order. Here's Craig, he's busy defending from the baying pack behind. It's Nigel Hannam who's next in line to try and challenge him. Fortunately, they've just got the straight to go, so I think Craig is going to hold on and claim that 6th position. He does, but a scant reward for a fine drive. So here are the final results, with the win for Luigi Mazza, 2nd place Ken Savage, 3rd Chris Dunster, with Steve Quick, Stuart Rowland rounding out the top 5, and John the Master in 10th. Dan Plant, however, slipped down to 9th after a solid start to the race. Once more, it's camera phones to the fore, applause and champagne for the drivers on the podium, with smiles all around.
Really eventful race, to be honest. Starting 10th, they reversed the grids obviously for the 2nd round. It was fantastic. We had some really good battles all day, so I'm happy with that.
How's your car holding up?
Yeah, good, I think. The boys, you know, they've been doing great. Essex are fantastic. They look after me well, so I can't complain on that front.
Ken, congratulations, 2nd place again. You must be pleased as pie after coming from 10th all the way forward again.
Yes, it's good to get 2nd, but I really prefer that top step.
You're getting used to that top step, aren't you?
Unfortunately, yes. I've got too much time following Luigi around.
I made a pretty good start, which I was pleased with, and then I was behind Craig, and there were a few corners where I was a bit quicker than him, and vice versa other places. So really I was hoping he'd make an error.
What happened there?
Well, later on, unfortunately I got passed by Luigi and Ken. I was just trying to hold on to the back of them, and I'm not really sure, but he just seemed to lose it on the exit of the final corner, and it obviously bumped me up a position. But I was pushing Ken at the end as well, so I'm pretty pleased, yeah.
That's it from part 2. It looks like the crowd's coming in, so join us for more after the break.